Good evening, people. It's a pleasant Wednesday evening because it is me with a book, a cup of hot chai, and you wonderful people. Myself is Hetal Rathod, an educator since 17 years and a mother of a teenager since 15 years. I work as an academic coordinator for the early years section at Tapti Valley International School, Surat. I'm also a proud Surat territory head for ECA, Early Childhood Association, and now I am happy to be a part of this community parent station as the Surat admin. So it was all about me, and now about Wednesday with me is going to be more of stories and book reading. When it comes to stories, we always imagine puppets or role play, and we as parents feel that all this is only an expert's job. Only a teacher can do it. I cannot do it. My child will not enjoy if I read a story. But let me tell you, a little voice modulation with a book in your hand and a short story will take you and your child in an imaginary world. Definitely, puppets and a dress up is an add on to the storytelling session. But reading aloud to your child can also be very, very fruitful. There are seven aspects which develop in a child with a 20-minute read aloud session. And for these four Wednesdays of this month, I'm going to come up with two aspects every Wednesday, along with a short story for you all. Today, I will be talking about two aspects which are supported cognitive development and improved language skills. When you begin reading aloud to your child, it provides them with a background knowledge of a world which helps them make sense of what they see, hear, and read. This read aloud is helping the children to bridge what is in the story and what is in their own lives. They just start imagining. A study on toddlers' cognitive development says once an adult starts reading a story to a child, in a matter of seconds, thousands of cells in the growing brain start responding. Some brain cells are turned on and triggered by this particular experience, wherein they start imagining things. Many existing connections among brain cells get very strong, and at the same time, new brain cells are formed, adding a bit more information to the child that will remain largely in the place for the rest of their life. So, you imagine just a 20-minute reading session with your child is going to be so fruitful for your child. Therefore, the more adults read aloud to their children, the larger their vocabulary will grow and the more they will know and understand about the world and their place in it. Now, second aspect is improved language skills. Reading daily to young children starting from infancy can help with language and literacy skills. We all know that language always focuses on LSRW. What do I mean by LSRW? L stands for listening, S stands for speaking, R stands for reading, and W stands for writing. It goes in that order, LSRW. But what do? We always work the other way around. We focus more on writing. And that's the reason why we still keep complaining about their language skills. Like a child always starts speaking the mother tongue without even reading and writing, right? Because the child is listening to the mother tongue without even reading and writing. He's just listening. The child is just listening. So the child's mother tongue is developing. So we do not take interest in developing the listening skills of a child. Now, also, reading should be in different languages to the child. At early age, when we start giving them different languages, the children's language vocabulary will keep increasing. We should not always focus on one language. So, the more the language the children are exposed at a younger age, the more the vocabulary is enhanced. Now, I am going to read a Panchatantra book today to you all. And let me read that to you all. It's a very short story, and it is going to, um, let me just get the book. So, this is the world famous Panchatantra stories, and I am going to read a very, very oldest and the most famous story of Panchatantra, which is called as the Crow and the Water Pot. Okay, we also were, you know, we also heard this story when we were very small. So I'm just going to read. It's a very short story, and this book is a very nice book which has got 60 stories and very short ones. I'm going to give you all the details of this book in the comment box after this session gets over. And so let me begin reading it, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy. The Crow and the Water Pot. Long ago, there lived a crow in a jungle. Once, he was wandering in search of water to quench his thirst. It was hot, and he grew thirstier. He needed to drink water at once. Just then, the crow saw a village and thought, "Oh, there will be water there." The crow looked around the village well. He found the well and flew to it, but was chased by some boys. Cautiously, he went close to the houses. He saw a pot of water kept near the door of a house. The crow hopped quickly towards the pot and tried to drink water from it. But sadly, there was very little water in it. His beak could not reach it. Suddenly, a small boy threw a stone at him. It missed. It missed the crow and landed in the pot. Due to this, the water level rose in the pot. The crow was delighted and got an idea. He put as many pebbles as he could find in the pot. The water level rose. The crow drank the water from the pot quickly. Satisfied, he flapped his wings and flew away, cawing loudly. Caw, caw, caw. So, the moral of the story is whenever you are in trouble, do not give up, rather, think of a new idea. So, that was all about Panchatantra story which I read, right? Now, let's get some facts of Panchatantra stories. We all are grown up with those stories, but there are certain things which we need to know and why Panchatantra stories are beneficial for children. Now, the original author of Panchatantra stories was Sri Vishnu Sharma. He lived in the 3rd century BCCE, that is the beginning of the Gupta area, which was considered the golden age of India. Panchatantra is a Sanskrit word derived from two words, that is Pancha, which means 5, and Tantra, which means systems. 50 stories divided in 5 volumes. Now, what is the purpose of Panchatantra? Benefits of reading Panchatantra stories is it is a fun reading session when we read these stories. Why? First of all, the stories are very short and they have lots of animals. So there is lots of voice modulation which you can do with these stories. So it makes the children, there is a lot of fun with the children when we are reading these stories. The the children easily remembers a story and can relate to it in specific ways. Also, it is providing a strong moral message in each story. For example, right now I read the crow and the pot story. That story also had a very strong moral message. Now it raises the curiosity, and the that curiosity leads to brain development. Panchatantra fables are narrated in a fun filled manner, which will definitely ignite curiosity in your child, and kids learn about human behavior. They also learn about human action and reaction in different situations through these stories. Such stories also help the children to develop brain, and they also help them how to handle their life situations. Most of the stories, if you see in Panchatantra, they are having few friends, the stories on friends, the stories on how we can help the people in our neighborhood, how we can help animals, how animals are helping each other. There are stories on how we should not be greedy. There are stories on how we should just keep going on with strength and courage, and how forgiveness is important, how just saying a simple sorry is important, how being thankful to certain things is important. So it teaches our children a lot of things. And and rather than going on for some other stories which have got difficult language, Panchatantra stories has got an Indian essence to it, and that's why it's easy for the children to relate. Now, Panchatantra stories also enroot moral values, so which we always want in our children when they are small. uh, Panchatantra stories are also rich in Indian values, as I said, and they always have all kind of communities of our country. So it focuses on worldly wisdom. It has lots. It also focuses on niti, that is policies which we should have in our life. It focuses on our karma. It also focuses on different religious values. So it's like a bundle of moral values which we always want our children to have. Now, so it is definitely a treasure of values, and imagine so many stories in just one book. Like I have this book. This book has got 60 stories. Now, if you read one story a week to your child, so one value is induced in your child for that week. And imagine that way 60 values are induced in your child through just one book. So, one story, a 20-minute to your child is going to add one value to your child. So enjoy reading, have a great time with your children, and I'm going to send these details to you all in the comment section. And this is how we should utilize time right now. Right now, we have got the best of the time in this situation where we can give them 20 minutes just by reading. It is not necessary to have puppets. It is not necessary to have props with you. It is not necessary for them to view you in role plays. Just sitting with a book with them on a sofa or on a bed and just reading them, just telling them to close your eyes and listen to you reading is going to help them a lot. And believe me, it's going to have a great bonding between you and your child. So that was it from my end. Have a great week ahead. Keep reading good stories to your children and have a wonderful life ahead. Thank you very much.